You think you know us, the typical UNAL student. Think again.
We are more than your headlines, more than your assumptions. This is the voice of those who refuse to fit in.
So, if you're ready to hear the real story, welcome to Not What You Think.
UNAL stereotypes.
Welcome to the second episode, Ongoing Disturbances Involving UNAL Students.
You hear National University and immediately think of riots and rocks. Do they even study there?
Hi audience, to explore this topic, we have invited 3 students who will share their personal perspectives. Please welcome Johnny, Maria Jose, and Natalia.
Let's begin with a basic but important question. What's the most common perception people have about the National University and the riots?
I consider this is a very representative situation for the university, given that the riots usually occur on 30th Avenue and 26th Street and harm a large part of society. Sometimes people have to get off public transport and just walk. This, of course, leaves the university in a bad light. I would also like to mention that sometimes we are stigmatized as if we were all part of the riots, when those who carry out such actions are a minority.
You raise a completely valid point. What about you, Natalia?
Honestly, I find it very concerning how National University students are so often stigmatized. I heard many comments assuming that just because I studied there, I must be someone who throws rocks or participates in riots. While it is true that the university has a strong history of activism, reducing it to that ignores its essence. It is unfair to let a stereotype erase all the meaningful work being done.
Now something more personal. What has your actual experience been with these events? How often have you encountered them during your time at UNAL?
I've witnessed self-tropel a few times during my studies and have mixed feelings. Sometimes it's tied to a real political or social causes. Other times there's no clear message, just disruption that impacts students, cancel classes, a sense of insecurity, and damage to the university's image. I respect its legacy of resistance, but when the method loses purpose, it stops being political and becomes noise. That's something we as a student community need to reflect on.
I see your point, Gianni. I agree. Maria Jose, what about your experience?
In my case, I feel like it's something I have normalized within the university. Although I don't like the idea because I believe that sometimes the struggles don't have a justified basis. As a community, we don't do much about it, perhaps out of fear or ignorance. But we experience it month after month, sometimes even week after week. For example, my faculty is close to 30th Avenue, so classes are sometimes interrupted due to tear gas. The situation can be exhausting.
That sounds tough. For our final question, do you think the media reinforces this stereotype, or is there some truth to what they show?
Yes, I think the media definitely plays a big role in reinforcing the stereotype. They focus on the most sensational or controversial moments, like riots or violence, because that is what draws attention. But while it does happen, they don't represent the whole community. The problem is how these isolated events get generalized.
That's a thoughtful point, and it is true. The media often shows just one side of the story. Johnny, what do you think?
I agree. The media focuses on violence because it sells, but they rarely give context. Many articles and reports are used to damage the university's reputation. Yes, some of it is true, but the bigger picture is usually left out. The National University is about critical thinking, diversity, and social responsibility. That richness doesn't make the headlines, but that's what defines us.
Completely agree, Johnny. And to wrap up, one last question. What would you say to someone who's afraid of joining the university because of what they have seen in the media or online?
Honestly, being afraid just because of what those channels might say seems crazy to me. The university has so many spaces to share, learn, and enjoy. Libraries, sport fields, stadiums, even a school. We're a respectful, diverse community where everyone has a place.
Thanks so much, Maria Jose. That's an important point. A stereotype can obscure the true value of an institution. The National University isn't just about riots and stones, even if that's what makes the most noise. Reducing thousands of committed, critical, and brilliant students to that one image is unfair, and honestly, it is convenient. It avoids deeper questions like why these protests happen in the first place.
Exactly. What our guest shared today reflects a deeper reality. While some only see smoke and explosions, others inside are generating knowledge that transforms the country. Maybe it is time to look past the prejudice and ask why people still feel the need to throw stones.
Things aren't as simple as they seem. There are layers, contents, and truths that are often ignored. And that is exactly what we want to show as UNAL students.
Okay, thank you to our guests for speaking out on an issue that deeply affects our community, and thank you all for listening. We will see you in the next episode. Meanwhile, leave your thoughts in the comments. We would love to hear what you think.
Not what you think. UNAL stereotypes.